What's up, Ramley? You are now in the kitchen with Chef Nixon for all your fixings for the latest and greatest of VCU men's basketball. So, yesterday, VCU hosted, or excuse me, Colorado State hosted VCU at the Jack Jones Classic, all the way out in Las Vegas, Nevada. Uh, and before I get into it, I know you see the digs. You know what I'm saying? My daughter had a Christmas play. Shout out to Ken. She did very well. Uh, So, uh, Colorado State, they entered this game with a record of 5-4. Uh, they're coming off a tough loss to a in-state rival in Colorado. They got beat pretty handedly, 72-55. And if you know anything about athletics, you know how that is really going to drive a team to get a bounce back win. Um, Colorado State is a team that's led by not unique, Neek Clifford. He's a 6'6", 200 pound senior, but he's a small forward slash shooting guard slash power forward slash do everything for Colorado State. He has extreme athletic ability. He has a good build to him. He has an NBA kind of body. He impacts the game on both sides of the floor. He's almost averaging a steal and a block per game, while also averaging 17 points, 11 rebounds. So the guy is really legit, and he's really the motor for this team. And he'll need to have an outstanding night if they plan on having some success against VCU. He does have a couple other guards. Jalen Lake, who's averaging double figures for them as well, can really get high, can really shoot the ball around like 43% from 3-point range. And they're both going to have a outstanding night. They want to compete. So I know they're pumped. I know they were upset about their last loss. I know they're ready for a victory. They're gonna have to really go out there and beat VCU, whose confidence is really high right now, to show that they're gonna have to go get this win. They want it. On the other hand, you have VCU, and currently they have a record of 8-2. They're coming off two dominant performances, winning both games over Penn and Georgia Southern by more than 20 points. I think they beat Georgia Southern by almost 40. Uh, so VCU has been taking care of business of the games they should win. Unfortunately, there is some unsettling uh, issues with the team because VCU hasn't won a game. Not a season-defining game, but a game that really lets you know that they're for real. They beat a lot of teams they're supposed to beat. When they ran into some adversity, they haven't really faced it in the best way yet. So Colorado State is going to be a good step up. I won't say Colorado State is world beaters or are world beaters, but they are a really good, or they're a really decent college basketball team. And to see how good they are, they're going to have to wait for the season to go on. But this is a game that VCU needs for their own confidence, and this is a game that VCU needs for their resume. So I am really particular to see how they're going to move forward with this. This is a game to really test them. Of course, they're led by Max Shulga, who's doing his thing. Joe Bamisile, they're averaging around 34 points between the two, which is crazy. Shout out to those guys. And CSU is a tested team, and they're starving for a win. So VCU is going to have to bring their A game in order to do that in this neutral site. So let's get into the game. Honestly, I thought the beginning of this game was sluggish, sloppy turnovers, unforced turnovers, just really trying to force their way, just being so ready to play. But I think maybe some jet lag or something was involved. But the guys, Colorado State came to play as well. So it's one of those things where both teams are anxious. VCU's anxious to show that they can beat a quality team. Colorado State is anxious to show that their last game against Colorado was a fluke. So both teams came out playing extremely hard, but of course with that is some struggles. So a couple things I took from this game, right? And I'm gonna start with two players for VCU. One, Jack Clark. I think Jack Clark. I think he finished with 6 points and 6 rebounds. I think he was like one or maybe like two. Was it 2 for 4? Let me see. Make sure. Jack Clark. Yeah, 6.6 rebounds. Uh, 1 for 3 field goal range, or 1 for 3 from the field. Now, I think that I'd be lying if I said I wasn't expecting more out of him, right? And part of it is he's in this shooting slump where his 3 point shot hasn't really been going like that. And I think he started out shooting around like 40% from three. But as of right now on the season, Jack Clark is shooting, he splits 23% from three. Um, and I think part of it is his shot selection, and another part of it is he just depends on shooting three a little too much. I think that he should use his athleticism to get downhill, get to the free throw line, and see the ball go in, and build from there. Start close to the rim and build out. Um, and I think once he starts to do that, he's going to have a much better impact offensively for VCU. Of course, a threat of him shooting three is there, but eventually, if he keeps up shooting 23%, people are just not going to be out there to guard him. And then you don't want to just completely take yourself out of the game. Be a threat in multiple ways. Be a little bit more versatile. Um, and we are going to talk about this player a little later, but Fast Billups is finding his way and finding his footing. He is getting uh, more opportunity than the one would think, or one would have thought, earlier in the season. But he's starting to find his way. He's starting to get in the groove. He does have a short leash. However, I think he's trying to make the best of what he can do, and I think this game he really did that. Now he only had one. I mean, he only scored majority. I don't think he had even one rebound or anything like that. But for him, I think playing mistake-free basketball is the best thing. Did he play perfectly? I won't say he played perfect, but there was no major mistakes made by Fats. Uh, and believe it or not, I believe that's something to build on. Even if you're coming in, you're only putting the ball in the cup. There's room for that, but we can't have you coming in and blowing assignments and giving teams momentum when we should be blowing them out, because that's an issue I do want to get to in a few minutes. Um, Now, as far as this game, as far as stats and stuff that really stood out to me, I thought that our free throw woes are something that we should look into. I just don't know why we have such a good team, a good and skilled team. I don't understand why we have issues when it comes to shooting free throws. We shot 60% from the free throw line. And with Joe Bamisile, Max Shulga, Phil Russell, Jack Clark, Zeb Jackson, Fast Billups, all these guys can really stroke the ball. Now I can understand if the guys that were drawing most of the fouls are Christian Furman and uh, and Mr. Bell, but that's not the case. We're having the right guys get to the free throw line. However, we just haven't been able to focus and knock the free throws down at a high clip for whatever reason. But I think that needs to get fixed before we get into the conference play. It's really just a mental thing. I know they do a whole free throw shooting drill um, at the end of practice. So they do pretty good at that as well. So it's just a mental block they have to get past or lock in on the moment when they're going to the free throw line. Um, on the good side, two good things. I think that we shot the ball exceedingly well. We shot 37% from the 3 point line. And for a team that gets up a lot of 3 point shots, I think that's a comfortable percentage that we need to have, opposed to what the season average has been close to like 29, 30. And with, like I said, with all the good shooters we have and skilled players we have, we should be shooting the ball better than what we are. So that was good to see. I also like that we only had 9 turnovers. That's the fewest, or close to the fewest we had all season. And that's the kind of basketball I expect from VCU. With all the experience we have, I expect less mistakes. I understand it takes time for teams to uh, build chemistry and get on the same page and know where to be expected and know where your teammates is going to be and stuff like that. But I still think there's a better brand of basketball that VCU can play. I don't foresee them just being this. I think there's another level we can get to, and I think if we want to be successful this season, there's another level we can get to. Which brings me to my last point about this game, or to my last 2 points about this game. Uh, Watching the game, the eye test, you see VCU, and you're thinking, yo, they're really good. They're really good. We're gonna go on a run. I can feel the momentum going in our favor. And then you look up and the game's tied. That happened so many times throughout this game where I feel like, okay, we found a rhythm. Now we can really start taking off. And we have the skill set to do so. But we just have too many mental mistakes. We have good stretches. And then we just have a huge mental mistake. And sometimes we compile them. For instance, our transition defense has been hit or miss, I should say. Sometimes we get back and we fix it. Other times we just let players go coast to coast. I.e., when we played Seton Hall, we let their best player get a rebound. We ran alongside of him, and he got all the way down to the cup in a critical point of the game. You know what I mean? So many different things I think that we can get better at. That's one. Free throws. That's two. Our shot selection. Now I know we have guys that can hit these tough shots, but run your offense crisp. Execute the play. Set good screens. Get your teammates wide open shots, better looks. Now they do this at times. One thing I will say about this team is they do a really good job of moving the ball. But sometimes either they overpass or they don't attack the paint the way I feel like they should. A lot of their moving the ball is around the perimeter. However, it's not a bad problem to have. I just think that there's another level we can get to. Now, one thing I will say about this game in particular, and I think this is the last thing I have to say about this game as far as like stats goes. I think the ability of VCU having guards that can really rebound benefits them in a multitude of ways. I should say. I think Max had 10 rebounds. Joe Bamisile had 9. You know what I mean? And they out-rebounded Colorado State by 32 to 30. But out of those 30, they had 12 offensive rebounds. And there was a stretch in the second half where basically our ability to rebound the ball, sealed the game for us. So VCU ends up pulling out of there with a comfortable win over Colorado State, 76-68. For Colorado State, Nick Clifford really showed what he could really do, what he's about. He had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block. Jalen Lake, his running mate, had 12 points and added 1 assist. For VCU, we had a really big night by two of our senior guards. Joe Bamisile led the way with 25 points and 9 rebounds. Max Shulga, you know what it is. New movie, same production. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Heard there were some scouts in the building to check him out, and they were fairly impressed by Max's ability, his size, and his poise throughout the game. Shout out to Max. Now, my low-key player of the game is Fast Billups. And I spoke about it earlier. I said he had 8 points off the bench, but he hit big shots. They weren't just throwaway points. It was VCU's down by 3. He hits a 3. You know what I'm saying? We want to extend something. He gets a 2. He showed a little bit of all like transition is where I think he like catch and shoot, and in transition is where he really can be dangerous. And he showed a lot of promise in that. Now, like I said, he needs to continue to play mistake-free basketball. And when I say mistake-free, it's not turn the ball over. It's not offensively. It's more so defensively. No blown assignments. No blown box outs. No forgetting the plays. Those type of mistakes are unacceptable for Fats. And if he can do that, I think Coach Odom loosen up on that leash and he'll be able to, get more playing time and contribute because I think that he really can contribute and help this team when he's focused. So, moving forward, VCU will face the University of New Mexico. They're 8-3. Their confidence is through the roof. They just waxed. Who is this team? I can't even see who the team was. Let me look it up. I don't even know who this team is. Bear with me. I gotta look it up because I use the ESPN app, and this team is so unknown that they don't even have a page on the ESPN app. Probably a D2 team. WN Max. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this team is so unknown. It's even hard to find them. But anyway, they end up waxing them. It's not that important. Uh, New Mexico ended up waxing them 70-122. Now, no matter if this team is a D2 team or if this team is a D1 team, it doesn't matter. Putting up 122 points is a challenging thing to do. And if you're able to do that on the college level, that means you have some ability to really score the basketball. Uh, so New Mexico is led by Donovan Dent. He's averaging 18 points and 8 assists, which is really good numbers. And Nelly Jr. Joseph, who's averaging 13 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 1 steal. So just out of those two, you see they have two impact players. But they also have two other guys that are averaging double digits as well. So this is going to be a very solid team. It may be a mirror of VCU. The University of New Mexico is favored in this game, by the way. And they're very confident at this point. So if VCU brought their A game, they're going to need an A+ game against New Mexico. And not only is this game important just for the VCU confidence to get more quality wins under their belt, but it's really to put the A10 on notice because I don't know if you noticed, but in the A10 we began some big wins. St. Bonaventure beating Providence, and Dayton already beating UConn, and has already beat and just beat Marquette. So it's a lot. It's a lot of competition in the A10, and you want to get these wins so you can put other teams on notice to show them that you're for real challenge, because you don't want to be fun and frisky. All right, so that's all I have for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time, never quit. Stay humble. Peace.